mic up. Come my mic up. All right, mic check 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the greatest one of all? What is happening, people? What is happening? Let me go ahead and turn on. Yeah, well, actually, let me go ahead and get a little sip of my old Kentucky home. Ah. All righty. What's happening, people? Good morning. It is July 5th, Monday, the day after United States Independence Day. Shout out to everybody who celebrated and who had a good time. Yeah, I went over a friend of mine's house on Saturday. It was cool weather where I was on Saturday, and so nobody got in the pool, but we smoked a brisket, 5.5 hours. It was so good. So we just had a basic barbecue. We had the brisket. We had I'm gonna do some pork chops here today. We had brisket. We had hot dogs and hamburgers, and I knocked off a few Mike's Hard lemonades. You know me. That's kind of my go-to drink, and had a swig of tequila. I actually went back and drank a little tequila this weekend. So. Boy, it brought back some memories. Boy, those tequila drunks were probably some of the worst I ever had. But yeah, so I had a good time, ate a whole lot. Yeah, didn't jump in the pool at all, but I had a good time. It was fun. But everybody seems to be doing well. Family's doing well. And I certainly wish you very, 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 very happy one. And this is my third day off in a row. I was off the whole weekend, including today. So shout out to everybody that's listening at home, at work, on the job. And hope it'll get you through your early morning grind if you're going to work. So we'll see who is here. So I want to give a big, big, big shout out to the new members. And let's see here. We got Kaz Miller. Welcome to Secret Level. So once my t-shirt line comes out, you'll be eligible for a free t-shirt. You do have to pay for shipping, okay? You have to pay for shipping, but I will get it shipped to you. I'll go ahead and, my niece, who's a college graduate, is helping me design my t-shirt logo. So it's been a while, but it's been crazy with everything going on, trying to get in touch with vendors. And I didn't do Teespring. I tried to. I had no idea how to link it. I thought the t-shirts, in my opinion, were too expensive. So I went ahead. I'm going to get my hands on about 20 at first. And there'll be different colors. I think 25 I think I can get. So they'll be free for all the members because the membership pays for the T-shirt as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, shout out to everybody who's membering up, and also looks like Rudy of Legends is in secret as well. So shout out to the 2 new members again. If you want to join and be a member, just go ahead and hit the membership button and go ahead and enjoy. What's up, everybody that's here? So shout out to who's in the chat, Sam Ash, always a pleasure, sir. As you can see, True Virgil's here. His little guy is, I think, like orange because he's been a member for a while, and I do appreciate it. But Corey Massey, shout out to Corey Massey. Gotta hopefully get Corey Massey to be a member at least for 1 month. But shout out to Corey, everybody that's here. So yeah, we'll go ahead, and I hope that everybody had a good weekend. Let me go ahead and get one more piece of ice. There's 2 pieces of ice in my bourbon is not cutting. I need one more to take me back by it all. Hold on. Free set. All right, I'm back. Yeah, lots happening this week. Lots happened last week. Tons of information with Sony last week. Just coming out, throwing bombs, things like that. But we'll go ahead and get started with their big week. They bought 2 studios. They brought them into the fold. One is Nixxes Gaming Studios, which does do ports and other things. Also, they bought Housemarque. And I know you're like, oh, Craig, that's old news. That was a week old. Yeah, I know, but, I had to go to work last week, so. So I'm just bringing it up again. They bought 2 studios announced. So we'll start with the whole Bluepoint thing. I know people were saying, again, this is why we stayed away from the Bluepoint rumor, because Bluepoint Studios themselves has come out and said Sony's not, they're still independent. Okay, and again, that's from Bluepoint Studios. So we go where it's not official until they come out and say it's done. And shout out to everybody who reported that they bought Bluepoint Games. But and I did say on 60 frames no lag. Shout out to which I Big Porter Rock. I don't know if he's going to podcast tomorrow or not. But last week I did say I felt bullish on them buying Bluepoint. I've moved back off of that position. I'm bearish on it simply because Bluepoint came out directly and said that they're not being bought. So now people say, well, they're not telling the truth and all that stuff, but we try to stay away from the rumor mill here. I mean, unless I get something from my source, Lou Waffle, I don't report rumor to you. So I did know last week that they were going to buy 2 studios. That's why when they bought Housemarque, I specifically put out the tweet. They're not done buying studios. That wait for their next announcement. So that's why I put that tweet out. If you all want to go quote unquote check the receipts, you sure can. Just go to my Twitter feed and check out what I put out after they bought Housemarque. So, but I'm not saying they have not bought Bluepoint, but there is absolutely right now nothing that says that. Even Bluepoint says it's not happening. So when it changes, I'll be the first one to say, hey, they bought Bluepoint. So, but yeah. So I think for now, let's kind of let the Bluepoint thing go quiet, because you also had people last week. I mean, I had them telling us too. We're telling all of us that we're that expected announcement. First, it was Housemarque. Then expected Bluepoint announcement, and then it never came. And then it was it's going to come tomorrow. Then it was it's going to come tomorrow. And I was at work on Friday checking. Okay, I'm checking on on Google and stuff like that on my phone, and nothing. I typed in Sony News, and all it keeps saying is Sony buys Nixxes and things like that. So let's start with them buying Nixxes and Housemarque. I don't know if you all know this, but shout out to Optimus Code, who did say on 60 frames no lag that Sony buying Housemarque was a big deal because other companies were trying to buy them, and now all this is being verified. And I do know for one that Google did try to buy Housemarque. This is back when Stadia was launching, and I was also told that Microsoft inquired. Because again, Microsoft is trying to buy everything, okay? And so they did try to, based on what I got told, they did try to buy Housemarque. Now, Housemarque is, I can't say they're coming out saying it, but they pretty much are not denying that other companies tried to buy them. So let's take a look here at our story. So it clearly says here that this is from, oh man, who's this come from? Okay, this actually comes from Push Square. And remember, if you're not a circle, you're a Push Square. So Sony snapped up Housemarque before somebody else could. There were other interested companies. Now this is from today. Okay, this is from today. So says here that you know, every company is talking to other businesses at one stage or another about acquisition. So it's no real surprise to learn that Sony wasn't the only firm sniffing around Returnal developer. Okay, and so the PlayStation buyout is set in stone now. So it's not happening. They are a PlayStation first-party studio. Says it could have easily gone the other way, as an interview with Finnish outlet, I can't pronounce that, reveals you know, offers were lobbied from other companies in the United States, China, and Sweden. So again, shout out to Optimus Code, because he did say on 60 Frames of Lag that other entities were trying to get Housemarque. Okay, so but Housemarque, that's why they kept referencing their over 20-year relationship with Sony. That was the big point. It's kind of like, yeah, we've already got a relationship with you guys. So yeah, but you all can go check out that article, and it clearly there's a link right there in this article, and I've got the what do you all call it? The links in the description. So yeah, there you go. It's that simple, guys. It's you know, it ain't hard. You know, go look this up yourselves. But you know, it's also a pretty good read. But there were multiple companies trying to get them. So yeah, it says, you know, the CEO of Housemarque said the usual suspects. Okay, so my understanding is that was Microsoft. There's a couple of companies in China, because China's expanding. That's why Sony is doing their China Hero project. That's why it's called the China Hero project. You know, because Sony is trying to get in to China, and I don't blame them. There's a gazillion people over in China. That's a huge untapped market for both Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. And they feel that gaming can kind of bring everything together. But you know, the way China society is, it's hard. You know, will they do online play? Probably not, because they feel they could be influenced by other sources. And if China did allow online play, you can expect the state to be monitoring everything. So, but that's just the way it is. That's their society. I'm not dissing it. That's just where they live. So. It says here, the permanent inclusion in PlayStation Studio allows the team financial freedom to develop the company towards the best gaming studio in the world. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy for those guys. I mean, I've got Returnal, haven't played it yet because I'm playing Assassin's Creed. Then I have to finish Miles Morales Spider-Man. Then I'll jump into Returnal. So yeah, I got a busy August with Returnal. Yeah, I got Returnal to beat. I've got Kenna, Bridge of Spirits coming out. We've got the aforementioned Ghost of Tsushima. I am buying the director's cut. And Madden. So I'll be PO next month. I will definitely be hoping for some super chats around my birthday, or at least a happy birthday. And I have a poll question. Everybody take the poll question. It is, if Horizon Zero Dawn by Guerrilla Games gets a director's cut, would you purchase it? This is a yes or no question. There is no right or wrong answers. It's if you want to buy it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. So yeah, let me know. But Housemarque was damn near purchased by, you know, had other interests. Let's just put it like that. They had other interests. So what's going on down in Florida is an absolute travesty. What happened with that building collapse? I'm just looking at the pictures. I mean, I can't imagine. That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. So, but what do you all think about Sony's purchase of Housemarque? Do you think it was more defensive? Do you think it was an offensive move? I think, based on what Herman Holtz has told us, it was an offensive move. They do want they do want to go ahead and add more studios. I'm hearing Sony wants at least 23 studios. So they got to get busy. Now they've got some lined up in the gun. You know, the partnerships they have with Deviation and Haven, Ember Labs, they're all on the clock, so to speak. I still think Ember Labs is a possibility to be purchased, simply because this is a special effects studio. That's where they got their, that's where they got their bread from. That's where the honey from their bee comes from, so to speak. So Sam Ash says it's perfect for them. Yeah, it is. It is one of those things. So, but yeah, make sure you all vote. It says members only on here. Let me see if I did members only. I may have. So, let's see. That's kind of the bold thing to make things members only chats. So, can't tell. But hit that like button, people. Those studios, but yeah, and Sony did inquire about Remedy Games, and Sony has inquired about Bluepoint, and but I do know they really tried with Remedy to get them. So they still may get them. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, that information kind of dried up. I knew they were more than likely going to grab Housemarque, and there was another podcast about a month ago that said they had already bought Housemarque. So, but the whole thing with Bluepoint, again, let me make this clear, that so far, I went from being bullish on that to being bearish. Now, why am I bearish? Because Bluepoint Games has come out and said it ain't happening. Again, let me make that clear. That is from Bluepoint Games. So I left a link in the description. So again, and this is not... I'm moving off of that story. Until it changes, I'll be the first one to say, hey, look, they did buy them. Shout out to my man Foxy Games UK. I know he put something out on Twitter that said everything points to blue, which, again, that's fine. I'm not here to say that it's not true, but yeah, they haven't announced it. So they got to announce that. So what's up, CRU? How you doing, brother? How you doing? So, I'm trying to close it. Anyway, yeah, I mean, again, I don't know what Jade Raymond's studio Haven is making a AAA game. I don't know what Firewalker's doing. I'm not saying that they aren't, but pretty much until those games come out, those are functioning Sony studios. That's the way Sony looks at it, not me. I don't look at it like that because but I get what they're saying. Sony's giving them a check, and these are independent studios. So, and we'll talk about how people went on this false tangent about how Sony doesn't support independent developers. But again, that's what Ember Labs is. They're an independent developer. That's what Firewalker is. It's an independent developer. That's what Hello Games is. Hello Games isn't owned by Sony. They have their own company. Okay? Their own company. Sony invested in them early as an independent for No Man's Sky. And, they produced, as far as I'm concerned, I played No Man's Sky. I beat it on my PlayStation 4. This is before the days of the PlayStation 4 Pro and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move. For Housemarque. And again, I'm not a huge Housemarque guy. I just, I thought it was a good move. They already have a relationship with Sony, so so be it. I'm glad it's good. Where Max thinks that Housemarque has proven themselves as a AAA game dev, and their addition to Sony team should be understated. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good, now that they have all that support and stuff coming in, I think it's a big deal. Brigadier William Wilderbeest, BW, what's happening? So, You like No Man's Sky? You got to play that next. Got to get back into it. Yeah, I played it for a little bit on. I played it for maybe 45 minutes on Game Pass, and it has changed a whole lot. Since 2014, that's the last time I played it. You know, so it has changed a whole lot. So, whew. But Nixxes Studio. Nixxes Studio, they are allegedly making a brand new game. They're also going to be porting games. And this includes porting games from PS3 to PS4, is what I got told. That they're going to take the really popular PS3 games and bring them to PS4. Now, this may take them a while. I'm not here to say when it's going to happen. I'm just here to tell you that that's one of the reasons they got their hands on Nixxes. And of course, because Sony is putting more games on PC, they will help Sony do that. Sony no longer has to outsource to 505 Studios. Remember I told you guys it would be better for them to get a studio to do this to keep the money in-house. Okay, now you don't have to outsource stuff. You just have your own port studio. So I watched as the years go by, you will see less things from 505 from Sony, okay? You'll see less things happening from 505. You will see more from Nixxes. Nixxes also help with the Avengers video game. I don't know if you all know that. They also help with, I believe, the Tomb Raider games that are out. I believe they had something to do with that. So, but you know, it is what it is. So, yes, Elmash, you're right. Microsoft, they're trying to fill a service, and that's what they're doing, and that's fine. And look, I've got Game Pass on PC. It's 90% filler. Now, that doesn't mean they don't drop an occasional jewel in there. Like, I'm playing Gears of War. That's what's streaming right now. That Gears of War is a good game. You know, it's a good game. I'm not. And Coalition, if you don't know, is going to have a Unreal 5 demo coming up at a Game Developers Conference later this month. So I'm excited for that demo. We saw what Epic could do with it. So, and people don't know, Sony has invested close to $500 million into Epic Games. But, you know, it is what it is. The CRU's playing Days Gone. Yeah, I played a little bit of Days Gone, but then I was trying to get something else, and I ran out of space. It was like, you got to delete something. So I deleted like Witcher 3, and I deleted Days Gone, and that freed up space for what I got now. Forza Horizon are good games. You feel get boring real fast. Yeah, it's almost like, how do you keep qualifying for those races? Because I've already ran a lot of those races. Like, what am I supposed to do at this point? You know. So, but I understand that. Yeah, the Horizon series is a good arcade racing game. To me, it's the top arcade racing game that we got on the market. Sony and Nintendo. Well, Nintendo has arcade style racers. Sony does not. That's why I keep saying Sony ought to look at bringing back Ridge Racer or something like that. You know, Ridge Racer was an arcade-style driving game, okay? It had loops in it and stuff like that. Forza Horizon with the Hot Wheels thing, that's a big deal. I love that, but I grew up in the 70s, and I had Hot Wheels. So seeing Hot Wheel tracks and Hot Wheel cars that was a dream come true for me personally. So I still need to go ahead and play it, but because that DLC is ridiculously expensive. But it's still a great idea as far as having and I said whoever's idea that was at Microsoft, that person ought to be in charge of something. That was a great idea. Sony was a can't play arcade racers. Well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, you can't play an arcade racer, but they don't have to have an answer for Forza per se. But I think if they brought back Ridge Racer or what's that other one, Cruising USA, even they brought back something like that. You know, a small, like an independent AA studio can just go ahead and bring it back, and Sony can buy it exclusively and publish it. I think because they don't have nothing like that. So I said, if you're a developer, a game developer, I would approach them and say, look, how about Ridge Racer? You know, so, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's got the loops in it and the crazy tracks and all that stuff, and they can just have it, you know, God forbid I have to say this, it doesn't even have to have a single player. It could just be all online. And you're just going around flipping cars and stuff like that. So that's you know, flipping cars on tracks. It's not that I'm sitting here complaining and saying Sony's going in the wrong direction. I'm just saying that is just a general observation of something that somebody could bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Drive Club was only 30 frames per second, and I think that those days are over. I mean, as far as a VR game, yeah, I don't disagree. If they could bring Drive Club back and have it be 60 frames per second in VR, I don't, you know. But what's the difference in that and Gran Turismo, which is going to have VR support? So, yes, CRU Foundational, the FBA. Foundational Black American. Yeah, it's just something that they could bring back for fun. It's not something they should, you know, mandatory they should do. But they were to ask me, hey, how can we make this PlayStation Studios better? What kind of games you like to see? Hey, I like to see an arcade type racing game, you know. So basic level up skills, you know, you just press a couple buttons and, you know, you want brand new tires, yeah, you know, dirt track, stuff like that. It's, you know. And maybe in Gran Turismo they'll have some more dirt tracks, is what I've been hearing. We'll have to wait and see. So, yep, Corey's right. Nixxes does have a AAA pedigree. Yeah, again, but let's be 100% here. One of the things they will be doing is bringing more PC games over, and or PlayStation games over to PC. And that we already know Sony was doing that. We already know they're not going to be day and date. We already know that. So, but this way, Nixxes gives them the ability to, you know, they give them the ability to keep the money in house. That's the good thing about this studio. So. You know, that's the good thing about that studio, about getting their hands on that type of studio. So again, that's pretty much my take on Nixxes. I know a lot of people thought last week that they were going to get a Bluepoint announcement. It never came to fruition. So I do think, once again, let me make this clear: the people that are telling you guys this, they do need to answer for it. They just need to go to their chat and say, hey dude, how come, you just simply say, how come there was no Bluepoint announcement? You were pretty sure they were going to get one. That's all you got to say to them. You ain't got to troll them. You just need to say, hey, what's up with this Bluepoint announcement? You know, so, and again, Sony may announce it tomorrow. I may be at work tomorrow and Sony be like, oh yeah, we're going to, you know, we're going to have this announcement, you know, so here it is. So just as they were supposed to, these guys told you that there was going to be an incoming PSX. You know, here it is, first week of July, nothing. Now the reasoning is because a lot of people in America are still on vacation holiday. Or as Don, Ice Queen Gaming would say, we're on holiday. So, but again, that's still no reason not to announce your event. That means, you know, and that's true. People in the United States today, this is a heavy travel day. Heavy travel day in the United States, whether it's by air or by car. So everybody's coming home today. I'm off today. I got to work Tuesday and Wednesday, though. I will be back to the grind. Somebody says Moto Storm. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just as long as it's an arcade-style racer, because, again, Sony doesn't have one. Okay, at least to my knowledge. Now, maybe they got something in PS Now. Somebody can check PS Now. But I would like to see them get, you know, bring back a Ridge Racer, or, I mean, this is the stuff we played in college, you know, kind of taking a study break. Like, let me get an hour Ridge Racer in, you know. So, you know, stuff like that. Just have to wait and see kind of how they do it. So, but yeah, Cruising USA, that stuff we played at the arcade, you know, arcade style races, you know. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. We'll move on to the next story. But now we're getting to the good stuff. We'll talk about Sony, what I call their choice cuts. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, children, a lot of PS4 games are going to be remastered and re-released onto PS5. I'm telling you, it's going to be the majority of the PS5. I mean, I'm talking about Lost Legacy, Uncharted. They're all going to get remastered. So, because Sony knows it will pay for them. Let's just be honest. I mean, if Uncharted, understand, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection is already 60 frames per second. Okay? So they have to bring Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy up to par. They have to bring it up to par. They have to bring those games up to 60. So the question is, do you all understand that's what they're doing? Because that's what they're going to do. All right? And, you know, they're going to charge for it because they're putting in extra work. They could, in theory, say, okay, Uncharted 4 is 1080p, 30 frames per second. They could just make it 60 frames per second and do nothing else to it. Or, and I'm talking nothing, no 3D sound, no haptic controlling feedback, none of that gets included, okay? Or they can include those things and make the game go from 1080p, say, I don't know, to 1440p, you know, and have put in high graphic textures. And that's what I've been told that they're doing. And so if they do that, they're going to charge you for it. More than likely, it seems like the upgrade is going to cost you about $29.99. There'll be a basic upgrade, and then there'll be a full upgrade. So there'll just be a straight standard upgrade, 60 frames per second, not changing the resolution, not changing the graphic setting, nothing. You'll just get a 60 FPS. That very well could be free. Then they could give you some base, you know, then they could give you some base stuff, and they're going to charge you for it. Maybe they charge you $10. Maybe they charge you $29, but you're going to pay. And my question when they were making both these new consoles was, could they take a game with resolution that's already 1800p, but checkerboarded to 4K, and then give it either a dynamic or give it dynamic 4K or make it 4K native? Now we're seeing that they can do that. But that does take, I guess, a lot of work. I mean, it's not like they go in there and people think they just come in there with a Twinkie in their mouth, and they do all this, you know, they do this stuff with the press of one button, like somebody said. I mean, that is coming from somebody who don't know what the hell they're talking about. It does take a lot of work to go in there and do these things. And even with The Last of Us Part 1, The Last of Us Part 2, the free upgrade was not only your FPS, but if you have the PS5 version, you get a better refresh rate. I've already told you all about how they took it and, oh man, I wrote it down, now I can't find it, but it was something like the PS4 version of The Last of Us Part 2 was refreshing it refreshed every 33 milliseconds or something like that. Now it's refreshing every 15 milliseconds. So it looks better, it looks cleaner. Okay, and that's something they went in and did. That didn't cost anything. Okay, that didn't cost a damn dime. But if they do The Last of Us Part 2, they do a director's cut. Okay, they would take it from it would be instead of 1440p, it would be dynamic 4K. Okay, they would be 60 FPS. It would have 3D audio sound. The game already had really good sound, but the sound would be spatial now. You would get better gunplay because Naughty Dog would go in and do stuff like that, you know. But this whole thing of, well, I want that for free, I think is and I'm not going to shout out to Musclebound Gamer because he did like a 20-minute video on this, and I agree with him 100%. I'm not here to tell you not to be upset about paying for something. Okay, I'm just here to say that, you know, you don't walk into a bar and then demand that the bartender give you a free drink. You might, if it's your birthday, they may comp you one at that point, but they're gonna think you're crazy. And so these people thinking that things should just be free because they can't afford it, yeah, that's I'm sorry. I mean, anything that they go in and they add, let me make this clear, they add, meaning it's going to take time. They may have to put a team on that. And, time is money. Okay, all you all that have your own small businesses, you know that. Time is money. But director's cuts is the way it looks like Sony is going to handle all these, I want a PS5 upgrade. Now again, Sony upgraded, you can go back to PS4 Pro. If you play The Last of Us Part 1 on the PS4 Pro, they upgraded it for free. Okay? I believe it is a 1440p build. I think it's a 1440p build. Somebody can look this up. By the way, on Gears of War, this thing that I'm fighting, I hate this thing. Like, I hate this thing with a passion. So it's just like a blob with a tail on it. It shoots spikes. But if you watch the Tomorrow War, that thing shooting spikes, that's where they got that idea from. I don't know if you all know that, if you watch the Tomorrow War. But shout out to the Tomorrow War. I thought the Tomorrow War was good. I thought the first 2 acts were really good. I thought the 3rd act was garbage. So, and again, if you don't want to pay for something, nobody is making you pay. You just don't participate. This is one problem, and I have to say this, and I'm not trying to be facetious. This is a problem that you millennials do have. You think things should just be done for you. No. If you think, again, I got into it on 60 frames no lag with a millennial PlayStation gamer who wanted to complain about PlayStation, but actually had the power to just stop being in their ecosystem, but doesn't want to do it because it's, quite frankly, easier to complain. It's easier to bitch and moan than stand up and say, yeah, look, I'm not going to participate anymore. So, and this goes for anything. Nobody is, like a friend of mine, he loves model airplanes, and I used to build them too. We used to build model airplanes, and that transitioned into, it's a hobby. That transitioned us into using remote control airplanes. And that was fine in the beginning because we could afford it. And this is a hobby. It's like playing games is a hobby. Once it got to the point the planes got bigger, the controllers got a lot more, got a lot more expensive, I stopped. He kept going. He kept building. Now he does it like professionally. He's got this like B-17 bomber that actually he goes to competitions with it, okay? And so it's fine. That's cool. That's what he wanted to do. I got into flight simulators. I'm like, all right, I'd rather sit at home in the cool basement where my computer was, my family had, and I'll play this flight simulator game so I can still be in a plane. I'm still messing around with planes, albeit it's different. It's different. So, but my point to you is that you don't have to participate. I don't know if people didn't tell you guys this. I don't know. If you go to a restaurant and the prices are too expensive, nobody's forcing you to stay at that restaurant and eat. You can just get up and leave, okay? Or you can look at their menu online. All these restaurants have online menus. You can see how much you're going to pay. But Sony is choice cut. They are wanting to be, and Herman Holtz has said this, they want to be the premier place to play the best games. Now you're going to have to pay for that access fee. And I hear people say, well, they should do this for free. Well, they have. Okay, The Last of Us Part 1 was a free upgrade. The Last of Us Part 2 was a free upgrade. Ghost of Tsushima was a free upgrade. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. All right? But, so they have. Even let's go to a non-Sony studio, CD Projekt Red with The Witcher. They gave us, 30? They gave us 30 free things on The Witcher. From gear to all this other stuff. They gave us, a bunch of gear and backstory. All was free. And then they dropped DLC, and they're like, we expect you to pay for this DLC. Okay? And people, and look, let me make this clear. That DLC on The Witcher does make The Witcher one of, if not the best open world game from last generation, subjectively. Okay? I still think Horizon Zero Dawn, the base game, is better. I've said that, I'll say that to whoever. But that's just my opinion, okay? If you think Witcher's a better game, I'm not gonna argue with you. I can see why. Especially, like, if you're in the Xbox ecosystem, and you can play The Witcher 1 and The Witcher Part 2. Because if you don't know this, you get like 30 endings, or something like that, 25 or 30 different endings if you play all 3 Witcher games. I don't know if you all know that or not. But my point is CD Projekt Red gave us free stuff on The Witcher 3. You can go back and check it yourself. Then they came out with their DLC. Now, nobody at that time said, well, you need to give us free DLC. And I was, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. And again, the way you combat it, and if you don't understand that corporations are greedy, you want them to make video games that are expensive to make. You hear about the budgets. They're bringing in top voice talent. Kojima actually brought in Matt Nicholson and Norman Reedus on his video games. Those guys do not work for free. Okay? Kojima also in Metal Gear brought in Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know if you all remember that. How Kiefer Sutherland pretty much went out there and said he didn't realize how involved video game making was and how passionate the creators were until he worked on Metal Gear with Kojima. You can go back and find all this stuff, okay? And it's just, I understand being broke. I get that, okay? The TV I want to buy is a Sony TV, but I'm too poor to go buy it. I'll just keep it 100%. I can't go afford it. But I'm not going to sit up there and say, well, they need to reduce the price. I'm just like, well, I'll have to wait. Either I'll be able to afford it, or maybe Sony will reduce the price. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit up there and rail because I can't walk into the store and go get it. Things of value are what you want. There's people buying these LG TVs, and I can't blame them. The CX1 or the C9, whatever this is. I've seen those television sets at Best Buy. They're stunning. Okay, I can't believe humans make stuff like that. It's stunning. But it's, to me, the value, okay? And the value is what you determine it is. There's subjective value and objective value. I strongly recommend you people learn the differences. I don't see the objective value in paying for an LG TV that is $1,500, even though I've seen them and I think they're stunning. Okay? I do. I'm saying right now. But even if I could walk into the store and buy it at $1,500, like this hat, cash right now, COB, cash on a barrelhead, deliver it to my house, I wouldn't do it. I cannot bring myself to spending that much on a television set. Okay? So, but now somebody else has a different value system. They're going to say, well, that to me is a really good price for what I'm getting. Do you see how that's subjective? Okay, so I'm not going to tear into somebody for spending that kind of money. I'm kind of like, damn, you were going to spend that kind of money on a TV? Good grief. Hey, you the man. I understand you got to pay the cost to be the boss. I get it. That's my favorite saying of all time. But I shop frugally, so I end up buying Samsung products because even though my picture isn't as good as a Sony TV or an LG TV, Samsung still makes a good, reliable, durable, long-lasting product. That's my sense of value. That's my values that were instilled into me. Okay? So, but that is what you would call objective value. Somebody could say, I don't want a Samsung TV because I don't see the value. I might as well pay another $199 and get the Sony TV. You see what I'm saying? You see how that's objective? What's not is what you deem value. That's subjective. So, but there seems to be, and again, a big shout out to Musclebound Gamer. I should have left a link in the description. He has like a 22 to 26 minute video. And just let me explain why, and he does a really good job of explaining why Sony is doing this. It is because they are going to pay their developers for doing the extra work. And also they know we're going to support them. Just like Nintendo. People are like, Nintendo stuff never goes on sale because they understand the value of their product and they're going to charge you for it. Okay? There's a saying, it was funny as hell. There's a TV show on, it's a cartoon called Family Guy. And that's not Family Guy, it's a Cleveland show. It's a spinoff of Family Guy. Cleveland, the guy who's the main character, works at the meat department selling boar's head. And he had a great line about boar's head meat. They were like, how come boar's head never goes on sale? He was like, yeah, boar's head sells itself. So if you go to the grocery store today, you go to the meat department, look at boar's head meat, look at the price, and compare it to, I don't know, Hillshire. Okay? Hillshire is probably going to be cheaper, but people still stand over there in that boar's head line. Why? Quality. Quality. Okay? And Sony wants to be the premier place. They want to be Jeff Ruby Steakhouse. They want to be, Ruth Chris. If you go to Jeff Ruby Steakhouse, you already know. Look, you pull up to Jeff Ruby, they got dudes in tuxedos to park your damn car. So you know what you're walking into. It's not like you're going to friggin' Steak and Shake. Shout out to Steak and Shake, love it. But it's not. It's not Ruth Chris. I get it. Microsoft is Steak and Shake. They're McDonald's. They're Chick-fil-A. But if I want Ruth Chris, which is in Louisville, Kentucky, in a high-rise, I already know you got to make a reservation. You got to go ahead and get this done. And it's not everybody can afford to go. I understand that. You can't afford it and you don't want to be left out. Something that was on Twitter, I'll move into this whole thing with Ghost of Tsushima. Let me put that up on the screen. When something that a YouTuber, Post Up, shout out to Post Up, said, and I'm just going to paraphrase what he said. Let me see this on up here. Well, first of all, let me show you this. For all you all who don't know, Ghost of Tsushima is the #1 seller in Sony's camp. The PS5 version is outselling the PS4 version, which is $30 cheaper. So understand, you can still go get the PS4 version, put it in your PS5, get 60 frames per second, and I guess it gets a few other things. We'll look at that. But Ratchet & Clank, again, is $60. I believe. Yeah, $69. Well, it's actually $69. Hey, there you go. So it come off $1. But, and again, Ratchet & Clank arguably is going to be the game of the year. Arguably, it's subjective. So, and a very good game. I don't like those type of games, but that blows me away. All that stuff going on the screen at the same time, the way Sony can make their games now with that SSD and storing stuff on the SSD and then shooting it. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, but this goes to show you right here that people will pay for quality. You pay for quality. Okay? Microsoft, since its inception, guys, has always been about quantity. Their competitor, Apple, is about quality. That's why Apple stuff costs so much, because they're like, we are a better version of what Microsoft is putting out. Okay? The great argument. Go back and watch the Pirates of Silicon Valley. I've mentioned this multiple times. Multiple times. Steve Jobs, in a full-throated argument, played by Noah Wyle of ER, played by Noah Wyle, a young Steve Jobs, was arguing with a young Bill Gates, played very well by Anthony Michael Hall. Steve Jobs says, I don't give a damn what you guys do with Microsoft. Apple stuff is better. And when Bill Gates responded, so what, Steve? Microsoft has more stuff. So Microsoft has always, since inception, been about quantity. Okay? Quantity gives them the ability to control the market. They flood the market with something, they reduce the price. That's capitalism, folks. That's capitalism. So, and this whole notion that people were not going to go out and pay for quality, there's a reason why Ruth Chris Steakhouse is still in business. There's a reason why Jeff Ruby's is still in business. There's a reason why Papa Do's is still in business, guys. There's a reason why Toyota makes the Camry, the Corolla, but oh, you got to go to the other side of the lot to get that Lexus, don't you? That Lexus is not sitting next to that Camry or that Corolla. Why? Because the Lexus is the prime cut. This is their luxury car. Okay? Oh yeah, that Camry, that Camry is nice now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the Camry. That is a good car. But you want luxury. That's what Sony is saying to you guys. Luxury over here. Prime cut. Oh, you got your ranch steak over here, but you turn that page and there's your porterhouse. And it ain't even got a price next to it. Because if you got to ask the waiter the price, you can't afford it. Prime cut. That's the difference here. Now, you can simply go to that restaurant and say, I don't want to look at the prime cut look. Okay, why do you have Pepsi products, Coke products, you know, beverages at the bottom, but they give you a wine menu? Okay? They give you a wine menu, guys. All right? There's a difference here. It's not, you know, you can go in there and get you a brew. Okay? You know, oh, but you want a, you know, you want an AP type of beer. You know, here's our menu. Okay? There's a reason why Crown Royal sits on top shelf, and then you got well alcohol at the bottom. Trust me, I know. You got your entry level, and that's what Microsoft is, entry level, which there's nothing wrong with that. Sony is up here on the top shelf, and they're saying that we're going to give you a quality that you can't go get somewhere else. Okay, we're going to give you a quality here that you can't go get somewhere else. But in order for that quality to exist, you want to be in this ecosystem, you're going to pay for it. Okay? We've seen the budgets of video games, yet you have this arrogance and friggin' entitlement of, well, everything should be free. Whereas that, again, I can play The Last of Us Part 2, or Part 1, on my PS5 and get free upgrades. Okay? I can play Ghost of Tsushima and get a free upgrade. Okay, but that's it. There is no more yeah buts. Okay, you're gonna have to pay to play. Said this before. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. This is a hobby. It's expensive. If you can't afford it, you don't need to be doing it. Okay. Just because you have your surgical tech license doesn't mean you know how to be in a room where they're doing a total hip replacement. You don't know what you're doing, you don't need to be in that room. Don't put yourself in that situation. There is nothing wrong with Microsoft's Game Pass. Where you're getting into troubles that you're trying to tell, I'll just speak for myself, shout out to Optimus Code, you can't tell me that, you know, Sony should do the same thing when I can turn on PS Now, and that's exactly what I'm getting. I got a bunch of games in there that I can download. Now, I can observe and say, well, PS Now could be better if they make some of these games that are for streaming, if they make them native. Guess what? I'm not dogging out PS Now, I'm just making an observation. Okay? That is the main advantage Game Pass has, is that everything can be natively downloaded. And Microsoft comes out and says that. Okay? All our games can be downloaded natively. So, it's the quality. Why does Microsoft's Windows tablet cost so much more than everything else out there? How come it costs more than an Amazon tablet? How come it costs more than a Samsung tablet? How come it costs more than an iPad? Why? Quality. is considered the best tablet out there. And everybody knows it. Guess what? You want the best, you got to walk in and pay for it. Okay, that's reality. Or you wait on a sale. Or if you can't even get it on sale, take your broke ass home. That's exactly what you got to do. Okay? I mean, that's just reality. You go to McDonald's with $5, you can't get the Big Mac meal. You're gonna have to go to that dollar menu. And that's what. And again, you have a group of people that says that renting is better than owning. Well, why do we rent and lease things? Because we can't afford to pay for it outright. That's why we do it. That's why renting is there. That's why me and my girl could not afford the down payment on the house, so we rented a bigger apartment. See what I'm saying? And while we save for the down payment on a house. So, I mean, that's reality. That's the world we live in. This whole thing of, like Sick Humor called it FOMO, fear of missing out. And what these guys are afraid of, and let's just get into this at 100%, is that they're afraid, and like Post Up said, shout out to Post Up, I'm just going to paraphrase him, when these games go up to $79 and $89, we're going to blame the PlayStation guys and Nintendo fans. That's what they're afraid of. So see, once again, when you wait on what they say, they will tell you the truth. Okay? They will tell you the truth. And the truth is that these guys and gals, they're afraid of things going up to the point where they'll be priced out of the market. And Microsoft gives them the ability to stay in the market. Therefore, they want Sony to do the same thing. Sony got to do the same thing. No, they don't. But this is why they're saying it. Because, hey, look, I can't afford this hobby anymore. I was just talking to somebody on Twitter talking about, it's about the money. It's always about the money. This is about the money. This is about them not being afraid that things are going to be priced out of the market. They complain about Nintendo's games being too expensive. You know who doesn't think their games are too expensive? It's Nintendo. Because of the quality of the games. Yeah, you can say that they're kiddie games. You can say, I don't want to play them. But you know what you don't ever say? The game is trash. I don't like the quality. It doesn't handle well. You never hear people saying how terrible the games are. So that means that they're putting out a quality product and they are going to charge you for it. It's that simple. Not hard. But when you are afraid of paying more, when you go out there and you have a damn rental service that even if you pay more than $7 a month for Game Pass, you're paying close to what? You don't even have ownership. What's 7 times 12? Let's see here. Let me go to my trusty calculator. I'm going to ask my assistant. So 7 times 10, all right, so 7 times 10 is 70. So they've already paid, if you're paying $6.99 for Game Pass or higher, you're already out of the market. They're already getting more out of you for renting. Okay? So they're going to pay $84 for no ownership. That's what they're paying. Now, if you're paying $5 a month, see, if you're paying $5 for Game Pass, it's $60. Okay? So right there, as soon as you hit Game Pass and it's $5 or higher, you're actually paying more for no ownership. And again, I can't believe that we keep coming back to this, but this is about these cats being afraid that the games are going to go up to the point where they can't afford to play them. So they're out here screaming that Sony should do the same thing that Microsoft is doing, which is just give you the stuff for free. But we all see the quality of Microsoft stuff. And it's like, man, this is not good quality. Now, maybe that changes. Maybe I'm not here to say it won't change, but I'm sorry. You got a Microsoft simulator game, flight sim game at 30 frames per second. That is bad quality. I don't care about well, what about it's 4K? It can't run 60 on a 3090. Guys, we streamed it yesterday, right? How many of y'all saw my stream? How many of y'all got on that airplane with us? We were going 60 frames per second. That's on an RDNA 1 card. So don't tell me it can't be done. You all just don't know how to do it. Trash. So again, this is about fear. This is about them being afraid of being priced out of the market. Which again, go back to my own story. Hey, I built model airplanes, which transitioned into me using RC airplanes, remote control, RC. Guess what? When it got too expensive, I couldn't be in the hobby anymore. So I had to go find something else to do as a hobby. Well, I started playing computer games, which led me to playing flight sims, which, because I already like flying airplanes remotely, I'm like, well, it's not the same, but I found enjoyment in it. The games got better. The games got better. You know, so that's what this is about. Fear and loathing. How they're going to miss out on something, how Sony and Nintendo are going to price them out of the market. And it's like, well, they can't price you out of the market because you already know the games are going up. Madden, I think if you're going to play Madden this year, I do believe it is $70. I think, so I double check that. Battlefield, which has no single player at all, is all multiplayer. It's what? It's $70. That's the price I've seen. So either you go ahead and you pay for it or you wait on a sale. That's what you do. Like I have to do with Sony's television. Can't afford it outright, I'm going to wait for a sale. In the meantime, I'll be saving money and, you know, I'll miss out on being an early adopter with that television set. Whatever it was, I looked at the A9 or something like that, Sony A9, it was something like that. It was just, it's immaculate, you know, the TV sets I've seen. And you just have to wait. You know, I'm not going to sit around and complain that I can't afford it. I'll just have to wait on it. You know, it's not like, and it's not a need. A new TV is a want. So, Madden and Battlefield included with Game Pass. Well, I don't think it will be, but somebody can double check it. You know, it's just getting to a point now where it's, I mean, if you can't afford the hobby, you just don't need to be doing it. And like I already know Ghost of Tsushima is $70, so my choice is to, as a consumer, we have the last say. I can just decide not to consume it at all. Like I'm not buying it. You know, maybe on Black Friday it comes down to $49. Okay? Black Friday, from the time that game comes out, and see, the game comes out, what, August 20th? So you have September 20th, you have November 20th, you have 90 days. But you're taking a risk. It may not go down on Black Friday. I'm not saying it will. That's just a risk that the consumer has to take. I'll get it when it comes down. How many times have you heard people say that? Okay? Now, I didn't go get those new Jordans this time. I'll go in a few months when they go on sale. You know, I may get a $20 gift card or something like that. You know, I'll go get it then. I got a Visa gift card for $15. Yeah, I'll go buy those Jordans now. Instead of me paying $179, you know, I'll pay about $154. Fine. How come I wait? What did I tell you guys? Remember I was going to get my new boom crane and my new equipment and stuff like that? I waited, and that should be here Friday. I waited till Prime Day. And then Prime Day came, and it didn't go on sale. So I should have bought it when it was on sale. And now, because I waited, and I did miss it on Prime Day, because, again, I waited, it did not go on sale, instead of it being 5% off, it is now 10% off. So I still come out ahead, but I had to wait. And I'll have a new boom crane, new microphone, a new soundboard. You know, you know, it just got, I mean, but you got a bunch of people that are afraid that these, oh, that's good. that these games, and they're games, so it's a hobby, are going to go up and price them out the market. So they are just screaming that Microsoft and Sony should do the exact same thing. So I just mean it's to a point where it is laughable. We are 7 months into a new generation, and these guys are just so unhappy. They're so unhappy with what Microsoft is doing. I mean, releasing a brand new console with no games. No, this is what they did. And then when they do get new games, they're 30 frames per second. It's pathetic. You know, it's pathetic. And they're not happy with that. You know, so when they see these games coming out, and look, they didn't like the fact that people were like, well, nobody's going to go buy those games at $70. They are buying these games at $70. Okay? And because people pay for quality. You know, if I want, you know, there's a difference in Ruth Chris and Steak and Shake. There's a difference in Jeff Ruby's and Chick-fil-A. All right, and you know, I just, you know, it just is, and it's just to a point now where you have a bunch of entitled people, mostly millennials. I mean, I'll throw in some Gen Z as well, but it's mostly millennials who think, well, everything just should be done for me. And what did you expect from a group of people who got trophies for showing up? They learned how to put their diapers on, and all of a sudden it was, oh, because little Johnny put on his diaper and he peed in the toilet like a good boy, we're going to take him to Taco Bell. It's like, what, are you kidding me? He's supposed to be peeing in the toilet. You know, it's just like when I was playing Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. I was playing Mass Effect 2, right? So, and I'm going around, you're supposed to recruit these people for this suicide mission, and it's giving me trophies for doing what I'm supposed to do. Okay? That's like you going to work tomorrow morning and then them throwing a party because you showed up. It's like, I'm supposed to be here. Okay, I'm supposed to be here. But let's look at the Ghost of Tsushima. This is how you upgrade it, okay? So it says if you have the original Ghost of Tsushima game on PS4, you can upgrade to the PS5 version of the Director's Cut. The upgrade will cost you $10. Okay, I spent more than $10 on getting meat for July 4th. It says making the total cost $29.99 and will be available on the 20th of August, right around my birthday. Now, if you want all the added PS5 features, including a higher frame rate, faster loading times, this is the upgrade you'll want to pick, even if it's a bit more expensive. Now, this is for the people who right now have PS5s, who have the PS4 version. If you want the whole kit and caboodle, you want the bucket seat. I mean, okay, let's go back to cars. How many of y'all have been on a car lot and they say, this car here has power steering, has manual windows, has no air conditioning, and no radio. This car costs you $79.99. And then you go to the next car and they say, it's the same car. This car has power steering, power windows, a CD player, and it will cost you, and it has bucket seats. This car will cost you $99.99. Then you see another car, same brand. This car has a spare tire at regulation length, which is not that stupid donut that they put in. It has power steering, it has power brakes, it's got a CD player, and also that will allow you to do digital listening from your phone. It has a heads-up display. It has air conditioning. Not only does it have air conditioning, it has domed air conditioning. So the air conditioning in the back can be cooler than it is up here in the front. You get that dome. You get a separation. Okay. This is the luxury car. What I just told you is the difference between the Toyota Corolla, the Toyota Camry, and the Toyota Lexus. Okay? But these guys want the Lexus at the Corolla price because they're broke. Okay? Because they're broke. And they're like, so I deserve, again, what they feel they deserve is what they really want. I mean, it's just stupid at this point. Hit that like button, people. All right, so if you want all the added PS5 features, which that's what I want, okay, including, we said that high frame rate, faster loading times, which Ghost of Tsushima already loaded extremely fast, if you don't know. I said, this is the upgrade you'll want to pick, even if it's a bit more expensive. Now, that's when the people going for the PS4, like right now, you can go, and think about this, you can actually go right now and get Ghost of Tsushima for $39.99, and when you add the whopping $29.99 to it, let's see here, we're going to go ahead and my cheap calculator is no longer working because it's a cheap calculator. So we'll go up here. So we're going to go 29 plus 39.99, 69.98. So no matter what, you're going to be paying $70 for it. Or you can just do it regularly and do it $10. Okay. So I don't get this anymore. So again, they're going to, all right, this is additionally, players who already have the PS4 Director's Cut. So if you go out right now, you go to the store, and you say, I want the Director's Cut of Ghost of Tsushima right now for PS4. Woohoo! And if you go to the store, they say, here you go, little boy, go home and have fun. You can also upgrade it to the PS5 version. This upgrade will cost an additional $10 and will be available from on August 20th. That's what you do. Okay? That is what you do. Now, let's see here. We can find the Director's Cut used. Let's see if we can find Ghost. Upgrade. I don't want that. So we're Ghost of Tsushima, PS4, Director's Cut. Right. Okay. Okay. Right now, the Director's Cut is at Best Buy, and it is $59.99. So you got to pay $10. Guess what? 59 plus 10 is 69. You're paying $69. So let's just try GameStop here. Let's Google GameStop here. GameStop. And let's see here. Ghost. Keep getting Ghost Recon. Ghost of Tsushima, PS4. Okay. Let's see if they have it. They don't have. Let's see. Let's go to. Nope, they don't have it. Nope, they have that is a special edition, the Director's Cut. They do have a special edition. Let me see. Here's Director's Cut. But they only have them new. They don't have them used. So that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find the Director's Cut used, and maybe you can get it for around $37 used. And once you do, you can go ahead and just, you go ahead and you do your thing. You upgrade for $10. That'll save you some money right there. But good luck doing that. I'm not here to say you can't. I'm just here to say if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Okay, why is this? Hold on here. Let me try this. Do this. I'm trying to close this pathetic poll I put. Okay, here we go. In poll. There we go. So poll's over. But yeah, I just am getting to the point now where this is just a joke at this point. So, and what it came down to, and I didn't know, but what it came down to is there are people that are afraid, and they want to say that the corporations are greedy, while asking them, and so they're willing to take less. I want you to really think about that. They're willing to take less quality because to them, Game Pass has quantity. That's why you're arguing with them, because you prefer quality over quantity. You're willing to pay for the quality. They don't want to pay for the quality. The problem is they're trying to tell you and me and that guy next to you and that woman sitting behind you what they should also want, because they're afraid of getting priced out the market. Well, look, guys, I'm afraid if you feel you're getting priced out the market, you either need to go make more money, or you need to say, look, this hobby is getting too expensive for me, and I'm not going to participate in it. Okay? I can go buy, if you buy a PS4 or a PS4 Pro, or if you have been fortunate enough to get your hands on a PS5, you don't have to buy a damn game. I can subscribe to PS Now, I can subscribe to EA Access, I can subscribe to PlayStation Plus, and I never have to go to the store again to buy any game, because PlayStation Plus gives me games as long as I'm subscribed to it. PlayStation Now gives me games as long as I'm subscribed to it. If you have a PS5, you get something called the PlayStation Collectors or Collection Edition. And I can go to EA Access and for, I don't know, I think it's $2.99 or $3.99 a month, get access to those games if I want them. And I never have to step foot in the store. I never have to order it online or try to get somebody to sell it to me or whatever. I can just stay within that. You can do the same with Xbox. You do not have to go and buy an Xbox game. Like physically, you can just sit there at your house and play games on Game Pass. Because Game Pass now has EA Access. It's all included. So once you sign up for Game Pass, you sign up for EA Access. So, okay, so overwhelmingly, you guys would support a Horizon Zero Dawn Director's Cut. Guess what? You're going to be happy because you're going to get one. So when it comes out, make sure you go buy it. Okay? 60 frames per second, higher graphic settings, taking advantage of the SSD, much better sound, haptic feedback. They cannot sit out here and have Horizon Zero Dawn at 30 frames per second be in the marketplace when there's a 60 FPS version of the sequel coming out. They're going to do it. Okay? I've been told all their studios are doing things like that. Same with Uncharted 4. The Nathan Drake collection is 60 frames per second. Naughty Dog has to bring Uncharted 4 up to par. Okay? At least with the PC version, because all those games, the Uncharted series, once the movie comes out, which is in final production, once the movie comes out, they're going to want a bigger footprint. That's the way it's going to be. Okay? And Uncharted 4 came out in 2016, so I don't want to hear people bitching about it. I think Lost Legacy did Lost Legacy come out in 2017? So again, the game is 5 and 4 years old, respectively. So it's done. That man said there's nothing in Dollar Tree has that will make you subscribe and give me back. Well, again, they'll say that Game Pass, you can still buy the games. Again, I'm not knocking Game Pass. I have Game Pass. Okay? The problem is I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you, Sam Ash, you, Paul G, you, Rudy the Legend, you, Kaz Miller, all you got, everybody, you, Ice Queen, I'm not going to tell you guys that what you're doing is stupid. Look, for me personally, I'm a consumer. If Sony does something I don't like, I won't participate. Okay? That's what men do. Women sit around and complain about the problem and don't fix it. Men identify problems and they fix the problem. So, in Mass Effect Andromeda, which is a dog crap game, one of the best dialogues in that game was at the very beginning. They land on that first planet, and that guy is like, look, if the problem is the weather, then we have to fix the weather. Okay? And your character's like, well, you're talking about planetary weather. What are you talking about? And that was the problem, was the weather on the planet was effed up. So they had to go do some things to fix it. That's what you're doing. You're terraforming planets. One planet was an ice cube. You terraformed it to make water to help your cause. Okay? Hey, we're running out of water on the Andromeda initiative. Oh, well then we need to go ahead and do something about that. You know, so again, if you don't like, and shout out to everybody who has voiced their opinion on this, but Sony does not care you can't afford their products. Just like LG does not care that I go to Best Buy and I leave a wet spot because I'm drooling over their TV. It's not LG's fault I don't have the money in my pocket to buy it, okay? It's not Jeff Ruby Steakhouse fault that you don't have the money to go in there and eat. It's not Ruth Chris's fault you don't have the money to go in there and eat. It's your fault. So you need to go ahead, instead of complaining, fix the problem, okay? Fix the problem. So don't complain because Sony and Nintendo understand it's a capitalistic market, not a social market, not a communist market. It is a capital market, and they are going to ask for this much money. Now, if enough people, and shout out to MBG because he's right, these companies don't give a rat's ass about it. Do you think Sony cares if there were people doing podcasts saying that they were going in the wrong direction? Because they're sitting up there looking at their numbers. The numbers say that they're not going in the wrong direction. So F you and F your feelings on feeling like that. That's the way a corporation thinks. Okay? We give you money to invest in your PlayStation product. It is your job to come back with a profit, preferably at least 7%. Okay? And that's the minimum to get them to invest. That's what you got to give them. Okay? It's like that movie Blow, where that drug dealer went and had to apologize because he said, I only thought I could move 70% of your product. I was wrong. I actually moved 100% of the product. And so since he moved 100% of the product, they were like, yeah, okay, we're in business. Gave me more product. So, and it works the same way. This is capitalism. And these guys can't, and look, again, you just have to take a look in the mirror and say, I can't afford the hobby anymore. I had to do it with my remote control airplane. Yes, I could have gotten remote control cars, because that was cheaper, but I decided I got to get out of the hobby. It's just something I can't afford. I'll miss it, and I do miss it, but it's like, it costs too much at this point. All right? I can go out and get a drone and get some of the same satisfaction for a couple $100. So that's what I would have to do. But that's me. That would be me going up to these companies that are providing materials and stuff like that, saying, well, you don't need to be doing this because I can't afford it. That's what they sound like. If you're that afraid of the marketplace, because the marketplace always makes the final decision because we're the consumer. Okay? So Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, whatever other game they're coming out with, I think, didn't Suckerpunch do Infamous Second Son? If you get that on PS5, did that not get a free upgrade? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm not for sure. Okay? I'm just saying, did that game get a free upgrade or not? I do believe it did. Somebody can double check. But that's what this is about. It's about a group of men and women who think that because Microsoft is giving them free stuff, that Microsoft is more friendly. Not understanding that Microsoft has always been about quantity and not quality. They're not going to change. Why would they? They're $1 trillion company because of it. So they will not change. Okay? Look at the MCU versus the DCEU. Okay? The DCEU with Warner Brothers trying to take all these shortcuts and not have to do anything by building the characters, building stories, building backstories, building stories on top of those stories. That's what the MCU did. So when Avengers Endgame comes out, it makes $1 gazillion. Whereas when Justice League comes out, it doesn't do as well. Why? Well, because nobody knows these characters. That's why. So you got to make that long-term investment. So in closing, that's what this argument is. This is not about, I mean, look, I like PS now. I think it could be better. How? By making all your games native. Native, so that I don't have to stream them. Okay? I want to play Metal Gear Guns of the Patriot, but I don't want to have to stream it. But maybe this new studio that Sony has fixes that. Maybe they're able to go in and Sony gives them the assets to say, okay, we can take this game, Metal Gear, Guns of the Patriots. I mean, I didn't play Guns of the Patriots. I didn't have a PS3. I had an Xbox 360. So, again, that's not Sony's fault that I didn't buy their PS3. But it is in a way, but I made a consumer decision. I did not, scream and moan and write articles and do blogs saying, how dare Sony do this? The marketplace told Sony, at $5.99 console, their PS3 will not be tolerated. And what did Sony do? They reduced the price. That's the power of being a consumer. Being a consumer is long-term thinking. These cats have grown up where you can just punch and click something and it's at your house in 48 hours. And that's not a realistic way to view society. We live in a capitalistic society. You got cats who made investments, okay? Remember I told everybody, hey, AMD is making the Xbox, AMD is making a new line of product cards, AMD is making the PlayStation 5. Maybe you ought to invest in that company because they're creating something. And so the people that were able to listen got it at like $16. What is AMD worth now? Is it like 49 or something like that? So again, it's a long-term strategy. People that bought Bitcoin. But Bitcoin didn't start out costing $2,000 or whatever it is per coin now. It was cheaper than that. You're supposed to get in early. You're supposed to think long-term. So again, I am, just in closing, if you don't like what Sony's doing with the way they're going to do their upgrades, you just don't buy it. That's it. That's the most powerful thing you can do. Somebody has a hot dog stand and you think the hot dogs taste like wood, you don't go back to the hot dog stand. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. You don't go back. You think something's too expensive, you don't buy it. Okay? You just don't buy it. Hey, hey, look, I don't think it's worth it. That's fine. Value is what you think it is. The problem is that everybody has a different value system. And I understand because I was around when Microsoft was born. Okay, I understand their strategy is and always will be quality over quantity. If you look at Game Pass, there isn't a lot of quality in there. That's one reason why the Bethesda purchase was such a big deal, because whether you like Bethesda's games or not, they got some quality games in there. Okay? Oblivion is considered one of the best Western RPGs in history. That's in Game Pass now. All right? Skyrim is a good one. People love Fallout New Vegas. Okay? This is quality, guys. That's what this is. This is about quality. So Microsoft's got to do something to get the quality up. And maybe when they do, more people will say, yeah, I'll look into Game Pass, But until then, I'm like, I've got Game Pass. It's okay. I'm playing Microsoft Flight Sim. That's the only game I'm playing. Well, part of the reason I don't have enough room on my SSD. That's not Microsoft's fault. Okay? That's not Microsoft's fault that I don't have enough room on my SSD to put more games on there. So in order for me to put another game on my SSD, I had to delete the Flight Sim game, which is fine. I downloaded it and uploaded it and all this other stuff, loaded it 2 or 3 times. It doesn't take but a hot second, Somebody played Skyrim, you thought it was overrated and got bored of Oblivion after a week. I understand. But my point is that it's still considered one of the best Western RPG games. I didn't like Oblivion until I learned how to play it. And somebody at GameStop said, man, I just can't get into it. And the guy said, this is talking about Oblivion now. the guy said, did you take the letter to Wayne Priory? And I said, yeah. He said, don't do it. I said, what do you mean don't do it? It tells me to do it. Okay, shout out to AllQW8, new sub. So understand that. You know, I didn't understand that. Because if you take that letter, which is one of the first things it tells you to do in Oblivion, that triggers the end of the game. I don't know if you all knew that or not. So if you play Oblivion, don't take the letter. You don't ever have to deliver that letter until you want to, because it's an RPG. So, and I didn't understand that. So, you know, but back to this quality versus quantity, I have Hulu. Okay, Hulu made an offer. They were like, we'll give you 7 days of this whole thing where you can watch movies. So I watched the movie Tenet, of course, because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched Greenland with Gerald Butler, and that was complete trash. Okay, even though it had that real hot girl from Brazil in there playing his wife. But that movie was trash. And then I watched Wonder Woman 84, and that made my kidney hurt. That I had to pee so much, that movie was so bad. I'm like, I gotta keep going to the bathroom. This movie's giving me a diuretic reaction. I mean, that's how bad Wonder Woman 84 was. But I have determined that the movie that Hulu put on is not good enough for me to keep that service connected. So I'm going to call them in about 2 hours and say, yeah, I'm going to keep Hulu, but this movie thing, it's got to go. It's got to go. I don't want it. You know, there ain't enough on here for me. So, you know, that's the way this works. So, you like Greenland? Well, Greenland was basically, what's the difference in that and Deep Impact and you know, I mean, you know, what's the difference? It was like watching Deep Impact again. Except Deep Impact was happening mostly in space, whereas this was happening mostly on Earth. So, I mean, there were things about it I liked, but you know, overall, I thought it was trash. I thought the first act was good. I thought that second and third act, you know, the third act was the asteroid hitting the planet. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was trash. I to comment what it was. So, yeah, my trial period ended though. So, yeah, I did watch. I binge watched. I watched Wonder Woman 84. I watched Greenland. I did that like the same night. I was all excited, like, yeah, movie night. Got me something to eat. So went down to Chick-fil-A, got me something to eat. Came back home, started watching Greenland. Was like, all right, that was actually, I didn't tolerate that. I like Gerald Butler. And I watched Wonder Woman 84, like, right behind. I'm like, yeah, Wonder Woman 84. Let me see what's up. And then I had that Price is Right Lose song. I kept hearing it in my apartment. I'm like, how come I keep hearing the Price is Right Lose song? And then it stopped when the Wonder Woman went off. So, but yeah, guys, that is about it. Remember, but quality is what you all want it to be, and there's subjective and there's objective quality. In my opinion, again, as consumers, we have the last laugh on what we consume. And if you don't like something that a company's doing, you don't buy it. Not hard. Okay, you don't participate. You think Sony's going in the wrong direction, yet you have a Sony TV, yet you have Sony products, but they're going in the wrong direction. Really? You think they're going to listen to you when they're buying your product? They don't care. Okay, they never have cared. Let me read some of the comments here before we get out of here. Looks like overwhelmingly people will support the Horizon Zero Dawn Director's Cut. That's good. Let's see here. Any questions here? All right, well, no questions. It looks like you all we're actually paying attention. So, I mean, if I'm you guys, as far as Bluepoint Games is concerned, I make these guys that told you that Bluepoint was purchased. You go there and you ask how come they haven't made an announcement yet. Okay? So Sam answers Tomorrow War was great. Again, I thought the first 2 acts were okay. I thought the third act was stupid, but that's my opinion. Okay? See, there are really no. Yeah, Microsoft is selling a service, and that service has to have quantity in order for them for the service. But now that people are in that service, they're recognizing there's not a lot of good quality in it, so they're starting to get antsy. Okay? This is why they're defending 30 FPS Flight Simulator, why they're defending 30 FPS Forza 5. That's why they're defending it. Forget about what they're saying. It's why they're saying it. Okay? You know, and it's like, well, this is all we got. You know, so I mean, that's a fact. You know, this is all we got. So it's just it cracks me up, but it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's here. Ice Queen, Corey Massey, CRU. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for swinging by. I'll be at work the next 2 days. Maybe Sony makes that announcement then. No, they may announce tomorrow that they bought Bluepoint. You know, so until they do, though, you know, those guys need to go ahead and start apologizing. So, but guys, that is it. That's all I pretty much have for you. I certainly hope you all had a good, relaxing weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish Assassin's Creed because I'm 80% done with it. And I killed somebody named Norm or Gorm or Horm or something like that. So it's pretty brutal. But I will talk to you later, guys. I appreciate you coming. Hit that like button. Shout out to the new members and the new subs. And definitely getting back with all of you all soon. So you all have a good, safe Monday. And enjoy.